Then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Good morning, everybody. Oh my God. What is this today's topic about? Well, I think you all know. I think you all know. And I've got a bunch of stuff fired up for you and ready to go. As promised, I've got the merch shirt on. It has been washed in hot water and dried thoroughly and has not shrank. It actually has the little sweat thingy in the neck. Very satisfied with the company. And oh, by the way, there's a link someplace down there, so go get your shirt. You can wear this under everything. So it's, and I realize that my merch is very like what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like I don't really want people to know I'm a prepper, but you know what? It's not this giant logo, so that's it. Oh my God, I'm double promoting. Good morning, everybody. All right, so let's go to the chat here real quick. I'm going to roll up. I got the right chat on today that I can't see anymore. Son of a biscuit. Looks like Rose is Rose first, 23 degrees today. It's a heat wave. Catitude. Good morning. And alrighty then, Canada, you are deterred. Pamlico Preppers in the house. Deanna, West Virginia, Pappy, Debbie, Divinely Blessing Designs. What we got here? Texan showed up. Good to see you, bro. Cindy's in the house. We got Preston, Ian, Gentrification, Chicken McNugs. Hey, there we go. There we go. Discreet logo. Right. And there we go. Perfect. Perfect. And Roses here. Pastor of Reality showed up. Nice. I guess the notifications are going out little by little, piece by piece. And wow, I thought I had more people in here. Then why'd the numbers just change? That's weird. We had like 25 people in here, and now it's down to like lower than that. That's really, really odd. Anywho, I'm not really gonna do any crazy stuff about it. Let's see here. And if we look at the chat, if we let's see here, yeah, Rose are going to get next week's supposed to be in the negatives, talking about the temperature, listening to the morning stuck on top, having to get off the mountain to go to town. There you go. Yeah, that trip to Wally World can be quite the mission. Being stuck sucks no matter the location. If you have a 2x4 or a good or strong limb laying around. Okay, head of the reports. All right, so nothing significant to report. And the netherworld, I've got you. Pastor Reality said he had to listen to like some death rock. He had to like rock his face off before coming to this live stream. All right, so guys, by the uh, I've moved my camera. I feel like I need to move it again for some reason, but maybe I'll just move over here. I'm in a really bad spot. So, um, guys, we talked about this yesterday. I asked you if you wanted me to cover it. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I had to like write this script that is very factual and is very poignant and very respectful. Uh, for those people that are on the replay crew, make sure that you go. I'm starting to make it easier for the replay crew just to go down into the notes and click on the blue numbers that says replay crew start here. But right now they're zeros. I'll change them afterwards. Anywho, so that's just like my little admin note for the day. But things are changing on the channel to make things easier for you guys. And I wanted to stay focused on the facts. Did a lot of research yesterday to make this all very palatable for people. So you guys are going to get a lot of information today that you probably haven't heard before, or just like, they're just trying to do population control, get us down to like 12 people on the entire planet. And there is some of that, but we're not going to talk about today because that's for the nutbags and that is not where we are. Let's see here. So, and also, if you guys noticed in the polls, we just got our 10th vote in the poll, which is fine. Like I said, I never push people to do it. I just tell you that it's there. Wait till the end and then ask for the votes. But why is death necessary for life? That's the real conundrum. That's the whole balancing act, the great natural balancing act. And right now, 50% believe it maintains ecological balance, 30% believe it prevents overpopulation, 10% is promotes resources availability and ensures biodiversity stability. And so I've tried to get as much of or should I say, keep as much of the left-wing talking points out of this, because this kind of on this subject, which I've never seen a prepare, I've never ever seen even seen it talked about on YouTube, other than like, you got the Kumbaya music playing in the background and how you're going to float off into the netherworld and stuff like that. But, you know, who else would we owe how else would we owe an inheritance tax? Stains, good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Also, guys, if you guys didn't know, I was actually on live last night on Rural to IC's live stream last night. He was like, "Yeah, I want to have some people on, and I'm thinking about it." And I've talked to him in the past, and I was like, "I'm ready now." And he's like, okay. And then so he just like had people started popping in. I think he kind of made a couple of mistakes, but they were good mistakes. They were good mistakes. It turned out to be a really good one. I will post the link to his live stream from last night in the members Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, that's because you're not a YouTube member, and it's only for those people. So once again, link in the description. Shameless self promotion. So if you guys are in the business community or in the military, there's something called the bluff. It stands for bottom line up front. It's an acronym. And so I'm going to give you the bluff right now. That way, if you don't want to hear about this stuff, you can just tune away and screw up all my numbers. Anywho, so the bluff is death is essential for the balance of life on Earth, ensuring that resources are available for new generations to thrive. It also it allows ecosystems to function by recycling nutrients and maintaining population control. There's two words we don't like to hear: population and control. Without death, overpopulation would deplete resources, leading to imbalance and potential collapse of natural systems. Good morning, Laszlo. Good to see you, bro. Um, so with that said, if you only have these 12 seconds of time in your life to listen to what I'm going to say, now you know what this video is about. But we're going to dig a little bit deeper, and we're going to cover I think four different perspectives on this. All right, so there's been a lot of books that have been written on this. Some of these people are left-wing nutbags, some of them are naturalists, and some of them are just straight up like economists. So it is what it is. Now, if you're new to the stream, obviously I will talk about stuff. You will write about stuff. I will talk about the stuff that you write. Otherwise, the stream is going to be really freaking short. All right, so with that said, I'm going to take a little bit of coffee here, glug, 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 and we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I need to cover to get started. All right, so the necessity of death. What we need to do is uh, examine mortality's role in population dynamics. Good morning, Miko. Good to see you, Rural too. I see. I was just talking about you. Um, And I saw a video that shows 8 billion people in comparison to New York. Oh, that's interesting. I'd love to see that graphic. Anyway, so you guys are distracting me. You guys keep putting stuff in the chat, and I'll roll back to it. So the necessity of death, examining mortality's role in popular dynamics. As humanity grapples with the challenges posed by a rapidly growing global population, the interplay between mortality and population dynamics has emerged as a critical subject of discussion, which is why we're here today. While advancements in healthcare and technology have significantly extended life expectancy and reduced mortality rates, these achievements come with very complex implications for societal sustainability and resource management. Now, this article that we're talking about right now explores the necessity of death from a population focused perspective. Now, it's going to draw on insights from various studies and publications while also considering the need for population growth in sustaining human progress. So, what we've just talked about, what I've just blurbed out right there, is basically there's a balance. There's a natural balance and I'm going to show you. Well, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to try and show you guys a chart. It's just numbers, but I actually checked it several times using several different global databases yesterday, and it's very, very weird. Okay, and then ironically, the same chart popped up from Elon Musk. Interesting stuff, guys. Very interesting stuff. Bullseye, Ben, there you are. I gotta take care of you right now, Bullseye. Bullseye. I've been looking for you, man. I was looking for you yesterday. You were not here. Activity report. Add as a moderator. Bullseye, Ben. Managing standard moderator. Save. Boom. Post something, Bullseye, and let us see the mighty. It's not a band hammer. It's a wrench. I think it's hilarious that they use a wrench instead of a band hammer. So politically correct, so ridiculously ridiculous. But the bottom line is that there's a balance, and there has to be a balance. Otherwise, we're going to, boom. My bad. That's right. You said like, I'll do it, man, and then you didn't show up. But it is what it is. So I actually have other mods that haven't shown up in a while, so which I need to talk to. So I appreciate the wrench. Yeah, now go fix something, mister. Go turn something. But with that said, let's see. That like Skane's girl that I saw that video that shows 8 billion people in comparison to New York. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Where are we at here? Death is part of the cycle of life. Without death, there will be no rebirth. Change of season is a simple example. Very true. Very true. I made it. Sorry, I'm late. And Scaines is just saying good morning to everybody. Cindy says Elon keeps saying we can support a greater population and encourage babies. So many aging baby boomers and not such big families now. Yes, it's excellent. Texas Raider, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. And thank you. But You're right. You're absolutely right, and he's absolutely right. And the data shows it. It's very, very, very weird. Okay, because like I said, there's supposed to be a balance. There's supposed to be an ebb and a flow. There's supposed to be for a certain amount of people who pass away, there should be a certain amount of births. And what we're seeing is the inverse of that. And it's becoming dangerous. Now, right now, it's like the lefties will be like, my God, Mother Earth, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I hear you. I hear you. But what does the data say? And the data doesn't show that except for this next year, where there's this really weird thing that's happening. And I'm going to show it to you guys. Let's see here. Catitude says birth is surpassing death. Life will find a way to balance always. That is true to an extent. The problem is it's about resources. And Miko says, yeah, the 8 million people that they're all in New York City. The rest of New York is almost empty. I like it that way. It's peaceful. Oh, dude, I had no idea. So I used to live in a little town. Damn it, I always remember the day. I always forget the name of the town too. I don't know why, but it was right next to. I worked in Hamburg, New York, next to right just south of Buffalo, New York. And when I went up there, because I was at the time I was working. Uh, you know, uh, Truth be told, I was a Marine recruiter at the time, and I was transferring from New Haven, Connecticut, up to Buffalo, New York area, and the driving, I was like, I'm going to Buffalo area, and I'm expecting like this city, and just for miles and miles and hours of driving across the northern part of the state of New York. It was like, where's the cities at? And it was absolutely amazing to see how much red land there was up there. So it's kind of interesting to see what happens with the state of New York. It's like these pockets of blue, but for the most part, the state is like red. It's really weird, and nobody talks about it. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. You know what? Let's check the poll real quick because I think you guys have been popping stuff. We have 28 people in here. I look at concurrent. It means it's a different statistic. So it looks like the wall says that I have 29 in here. And for 17 votes, my wise death necessary for life. 71% is maintains ecological balance. 18% prevents overpopulation, and 6% promotes resource availability and ensures biodiversity. All right, let's see here. I'm not seeing Andy showed up. There you go. Or were you here the whole time? I'm not exactly sure. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about. Um, I think it's totally sustainable. It's just mismanaged. Uh, I I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you because it's all about our ability to produce food. And if you look at the numbers just in the United States of, say, beef, pork, chicken, chicken's good, pork's not so great, and beef is not enough, even though there's millions of cows that are slaughtered every year. And it's so the resources are not there. Then the crops that we are growing, they're not sustaining the country. They can't sustain the country. Ever since we started growing corn to put in our gasoline, we've really changed that. There was a part of America it used to be called the wheat belt, and now it's the corn belt. So it's a little weird. It's a little weird. But so I'm gonna move on to the next one, guys. Make sure you guys keep posting, keep that chat rate up. Tell me what you think, and I will tell you what I think. So the link between reduced mortality and population growth. So there's a connection there that we have to be very cognizant of. The relationship between reduced mortality and population growth is exemplified in regions like sub-Sahara Africa. This is a great proof source because we can actually see it happening in our world, that it's not affecting us. It's not affecting us because we're America, and we live big, and we eat steaks, and we drink beer and watch porno, and we just do all this crazy stuff. We're such consumers of the world, we don't see what's happening on the other side of the planet. So let's use this as a great proof source. So in regions like sub-Sahara Africa, where improvements in child survival rates have contributed to significant demographic changes. A study published on the National Center of Biotechnology's Information's platform underscores that while decreasing child mortality is a marker of progress, it also leads to rapid population expansion. This growth places additional strain on already limited resources, including food, water, and healthcare. And healthcare is a major issue in population growth. Now, to address this challenge, the experts emphasize the importance of integrating accessible family planning and education into public health initiatives. So they're literally saying, guys, I mean, if you want to go on the bang bus, good for you. But let's let's just have fun. Let's just not like be making rando babies because it could be a problem because we have limited resources here in sub-Sahara Africa, that kind of thing. So these measures they aim to strike a balance. Um, between reducing mortality and maintaining sustainable population levels. Without these interventions, the benefits of improved healthcare may have inadvertently, no, it has, exasperated resource scarcity and inequity. Now, I know we don't like that inequity, but basically, inequity over there is the way of saying there's not enough food. If you've got money, you can afford the food. You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't be popping out. But it's the same rule. It's the same rule that parents have been teaching their kids forever, and sometimes they listen and sometimes they don't. I have 15 grandchildren. Some of them listened, some of them didn't. But like, you just don't be going off making babies willy-nilly because it will change your life. It will change the world. And that's something that we probably need to talk more about on another live stream. But it is what it is. Now, if I roll to the chat, let me close the poll here. There we go. It's not closed. I'm just closing it on my screen here. Imagine, Bullseye Ben says, imagine how the left would lose their minds if the Dust Bowl happened this century. Oh, they would just blame Donald Trump. I heard Donald Trump farted yesterday, and the world is going to end tomorrow. Cindy says in World War III, births will rise likely World War I or World War II, possibly depending on leave time or warning of deployment. My very first child was she was born while I was in the Gulf War. So I understand what you're saying. They come home, they knock one out, basically, hold them heels high, that kind of stuff. But and then, oh, by the way, when you come back, you've got a kid, that kind of thing. And that's understandable. It's understandable. That's a very, very realistic statistic, Cindy. But we don't have any wars, so global population could be an issue right now. Let's see here. Skeins Girl says, "Yes, Lord." Tuck, have my mineral spice morning coffee. Let's see here. Cindy Bullseye says Cindy Hoff, the birth rates went up after the war, not during. Well, I think that's what she was talking about. But they were coming home, I believe, every year, once to go on leave, and sometimes it was rare. Um, let's see. Pastor says mismanagement of resources, the ability to produce food, that goes all the way back to the difference in Cain and Abel's sacrifices. Very true. Very true. Miko says elk, reindeer, white-tailed deer, rabbit, squirrels, trout, bass, salmon. They are yum yums. Yes, they are, but sometimes they won't last, and we've proven that. We hunted during the Great Depression. We hunted deer almost to extinction. That's why people learned to eat squirrels. Um, let's see. You can't get black bear, grizzly. Yes, I have a Bigfoot up here, aka Sasquatch. Good. Divinely Blessing says, good morning. Bullseye says, Mika Wolf in the 1950s in Oklahoma, white-tailed deer in Oklahoma were almost completely wiped out and had to bring in mating pairs to bring them back up. There we go. Let's see. Miko says, I smell that you're. Uh, New York is overpopulated with white-tailed deer. All you got to do is drive around New York. You're head a deer just for good insurance. Yeah, it's very similar here on the eastern shore of Virginia. I've never seen so many deer in my life. Not a joke. Catitude says medical and medicine helping people live longer than decades and centuries before. Very true. Very true. It's part of the problem. Bullseye Ben says, I got my wife pregnant after deployment. Nothing makes you think about life more than war. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. We don't have any wars. You're funny. We're not in any wars. We're deployed freaking everywhere. I'm very cognizant of the deployment of the United States military. Let's see here. Miko says, property owners take care of the wildlife up here and keep the population growing, just like you feed a squirrel dog population 3 or 4 times a year, same as the white-tailed deer. True. Let's see here. Pilgrim showed up. Good morning, my friend. Well, I'll tell you, Pilgrim. Well, I'll tell you, Pilgrim. Let's see. Squirrel and possum have a very low risk of getting sick from them early. I gotcha. Rose says, visit Hank Island, New York, area of paupers, site where unclaimed from CID, I don't know what that is, were buried since the 19th century. They will run out of land. Cemeteries cause main issues where there is a limited number. Gotcha. Okay. Mr. J showed up. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. I know, right? Is that you? Is that you, John Wayne? Okay, so let's go ahead and talk now about population growth and childcare, or I'm sorry, child welfare. It's an interesting portion of what we would call this population control slash balancing the scales. Now, population growth and child welfare. The implications of sustainable population growth extended beyond resource limitations, particularly after affecting children. Peter Lechouf, a pediatric expert, argues that unchecked population growth diminishes the quality of life for children by intensifying competition for essential resources like education and healthcare. He advocates for prioritizing child welfare as a core element of population policies, suggesting that addressing overpopulation is not merely an environmental concern, but a moral imperative. Now, protecting children's well being requires a multifaceted approach that includes better access to contraception, education, or family planning, and economic empowerment by ensuring that families can make informed decisions about reproduction. Societies can create a more equitable environment for future generations. Now, you probably heard a lot of lefty words in that little thing that I just read you, and there's a reason for that. Whenever you hear the term family planning, that is abortion. Not a joke. It's not. It's like they always love to use one word that means something really good, like family planning. I'm going to plan to have a family. And when are we going to do that? We're going to do that after um, I've like got my first promotion. We've got a house. We've got a locked in job I can never be fired from. We're making money and we've sown our oats. And so probably like 30, 31. That's family planning. No, that's not what family planning means. Family planning means, oops, let's go get it fixed. That's what it means to these people. They just use that word family. Family planning. So that's what's happening there. And so that is something that needs to be thought about, but it doesn't really. If you look at the numbers, and I have done it one time, but I'm not going to pretend that I know what I'm going. Oh my God, it's so difficult to say these things. There are a a gigantic amount of black babies that have been killed in the last 20 years here in America before they even got a breath. And so that's how they look at population control. Now, hopefully I probably just incited a riot online, so I'll look at the chat here, but we're going to wade into it. I'm going to put my waders on and pull them up to my chest. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Ian says eastern elk were hunted out. The current elk herd is Appalachia, are from the mountains west. Gotcha. Where are we at? Howdy Pilgrim. Everybody's saying hi. I said howdy most of the time, anyways. There you go. I really love these communities. Much appreciated. There we go. China is seeing the troubles from constraints in population. Yes, if you guys remember, China forever had a limitation on children. They were like, hey, and if you decide you want to have a kid, then yeah, you get to have 1.3 children and try to do the math on that. And if you decide to like break our law, then we're going to put you in prison. Not a joke. Also forced abortions, and they were doing some crazy stuff. They had just recently in the past few years, I believe, raised that limitation or that moratorium, because they realized that they wouldn't have enough kids to tell what to do because they didn't have enough kids turning into adults to make more kids. And that's part of the problem. They're actually a perfect example of what is happening here in the United States and globally. So, um, let's see here. Being raised in Texas. Howdy. Okay, exact. Uh, Cemeteries take up a tiny portion of the buildable land in my country. I do not know if local government has set aside land for future plots of the population of 2 million. Yeah, yeah, I don't even know how we get around that math. I honestly think that at a certain point, it's all going to be about cremation. I think that that's the solution to the land issue. I mean, I mean, was it planned that way? It's like you bury so many people that you use up the land. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild when you think about it. Let's see here. Tuck says the actual work of family planning of most organizations is the equivalent of calling a demolition company for a flood control consulting firm. There you go. Miko says, hey, go back to the old ways with childcare, like the Native Americans. The others take care of their kids and teach them the culture and history when the parents go out to work and simple. Yeah, it takes a village, Miko, and I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is when the villagers decide to tell you what's good for your children. Because what we have, in those days, it was culture, it was education, it was how to survive, what is expected of you. Because they all had followed the same rules. And what we have in modern villages is 7,000 people. Well, let's just say 100 people in the village that all have different opinions on things. And the next thing you know, then we start getting the crazy Karens teaching our kids things when we're at work, that will destroy the village, that will eventually destroy the village, because of their feelings. Let's see here. Cindy says need cemetery vault walls instead of ground would conserve space and easier uh, exhumanation. I don't know. I guess that's word on the verb. Exhumanization. Easier maintenance of cemetery grounds to especially rural. It's gonna Yes, Cindy. It will have to become more modern. It really will. We'll have to come up with alternatives. I personally like the cremation things. Lots of people in my family have been cremated. I'll be cremated, because some of my kids might want to keep me, and that's been an experience that I've actually had. So let's see here. I demand sky burial. Yes, yes, I will be shot out of a cannon into into like suborbit, and that will burn up on reentry. There's an idea. PM. Let's see here. I have a fan of Viking funerals. Yeah, but they go through a lot of boats, man. Yeah, have you ever noticed when you watch a Viking funeral? I mean, obviously they used like the equivalent of a dinghy, unless you were a king or something. But all the Viking funerals that you see on TV, it's like they're gold and people dying with them, and and pushing it out into the bay and lighting it. It's like, dude, listen, you need that ship to go do Viking raids. Why are you doing this? But that's not how they really did it. It wasn't like this full ship unless you were like a king or something like that. So, In Denmark, if buried, a plot is used for X amount of time. The dug up for the new body, it is up to the family to determine what to do next. Ah, that's interesting. Soylent Green, that's disgusting. Did you know you can actually buy Soylent Green online, but it's not what you think it is, or is it? Miko says, in our family, each of our kids has two or three kids, and their kids have two or three kids. Minimum gets the family tree of life that would be learned to take care of our own family values. I love it, Miko. I love it. Bradley, he's not in a meeting. My God, Bradley showed up. Uh, great, got busy, and I missed the first 30. Can we start over? Negative, Rampart. Engine 51 has left the station. Let's see here. I'm really showing my age on that one, aren't I? Pilgrim says they could just lash a bunch of logs together. No need to burn that good. I know exactly, right? It's just stupid. That's TV. Build me a raft with a couple of old dead trees. Yes, you have been honored by lashings and an old tree. Amish have highest popularity growth. They will take over. I hope so. I hope so because they could actually like bring the world back to balance. Um, all right, so looks like we have hit the middle point of the live stream, which means I need to accelerate things. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and pay some bills, and we're going to do our standard. We love our country, and so if you love your country, new people, pay attention and participate. If you love your country, put a one in the chat. Not your government, your country. America. I'm going to drink some coffee. I'm going to talk some smack. I'm going to read you some stuff because this is an educational channel and I'm going to pay some bills. Guys, as you can see, I'm going to the Refuge Medical again. Why? Because these other things that I promote, they are great products, but this is something that we need in our lives. Guys, you should have a tourniquet in your car. You should have a tourniquet in your house. You should have a tourniquet in your bathroom. No, that's a joke. But we should be taking medical preparedness very seriously because you do not know when something is going to go wrong and you need to be prepared for it. Even if it's just a somebody wrecked their car, you're going to go save their life. And, I mean, you forgot it. Go, hey, tourniquets in my door. That's where it is in the Explorer, and you need to have those things. Now, they're a little expensive. So I've got a code for you, LocalPrepper, and you're going to save 15% on your purchase. Not a joke. I see you people listening to me too. I do see when you guys buy stuff. I don't get to know who you are, but I can see when you buy stuff. Yes, I make like 3 cents every time you spend $1,000, but that's okay. That's how we fund these streams. And so it's a win-win, guys. Make sure you go to Refuge Medical. And oh, by the way, Bear Facts are back as of tomorrow. And Bearfax, Bearmen are back as of tomorrow. They've been out of stock, and I would recommend that you order them very quickly because they're going to go super duper fast. I've been talking with Dawn over there, the chief op or the operating or actually no, it's like promotion or sales officer or something like that for their Western region, which still kind of blows my mind since I'm in the East. And probably she just wants to work with me because I'm cool, I guess. But they already have several pre-orders in, and these things are going to go fast. So get on it. Back to the main. There we go. And oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, I think it's down there. Nope, it's down there. There it is. Where it's down there. 4 days until January 20th. Is something going to go down? Nobody knows. But January 19th could actually be a more intense day. And we may cover that in a future live stream. But for right now, we're going to stay on point. All right, let's see here. I want to appreciate you guys for putting the ones in the chat. I do see where we have a slight bit of slackery going on because normally things blow up and that didn't happen. It didn't happen, but I'm just going to assume that you're sitting in a meeting with an earbud in one ear listening to me and not the person giving the meeting. That gives me a warm fuzzy. It makes me feel really good. The shadow knows. Let's see here. Not all Viking burials on their boats for the chieftain. Some were in funeral for Eve. There you go. Soylent Green is being used in New York. They liquefy you and then use the liquefy for fertilize the field. It's crazy. That's also against the law. Interesting. Learn me. That's funny. Only good thing about returning to nursing supplies. Exactly. Listen, guys, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you a dirty little secret. When I have to go to the ER, yeah, I go through every cabinet and every drawer that isn't locked. But those sneaky bastards, they've started to lock everything down too. They keep it in a cart in the hallway because they know people are getting things, are taking things for their kits. They're on to us. So just by the way, if you ever see me in the ER, I'm going to pillage. I'm going to pillage. Let's see. Captain Blue can bite me. There you go. Refuge Medical is a great company. I get all my supplies from them, as you should. What about Captain Blue Tie banning gas appliances like water heaters? Yeah, Cindy, that's off subject, but I'm going to address it since we have a few minutes. Yeah, if you guys have not noticed this, it's all connected. And this isn't tinfoil hat stuff. It's all connected. They're doing everything out in the open, and they're just like pretending like nobody's going to figure out. It's not just the rage that they're trying to take something away from us. That's what they want you to feel, okay? That's the direction, that's the distraction. Okay. So, let's connect the dots very briefly. First day, pipeline shutdown. Gas, natural gas. Uh, Second day, banning drilling and some fracking. Remember that? Let's see here. Then they wanted to get rid of gas stoves. Okay. Then they want to get rid of hot water heat gas was it propane hot water heaters. Then they wanted to get rid of the instant on propane powered or gas powered it's propane powered instant on heaters that are in houses. Okay. And then they actually went to try to get rid of like any type of cooking stove that uses any form of petroleum whatsoever. Why? Why? Because that supports the electric agenda, and the electric agenda is in support of EVs, electronic or electric vehicles. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to slowly pull you out of the gas so that you'll be more dependent on electricity. Problem is we ain't got enough electricity, guys. Forget the fact. Let me put it to you simply. If everybody stopped using propane for any purpose whatsoever, it's the cleanest, it's the fastest, it's the most effective, it's the most environmentally safe. It does everything that's good, which makes no sense, but for the tree huggers anyway. If they pulled you away from all of that, then everything that is produced, built, designed would be based on electricity. And everybody went that way, there's not enough power for everybody. It would be like California with the constant brownouts. Okay? It's ridiculous. That's what they were actually doing. So, let's see here. They banned Freon to save the ozone. To save the ozone, though it's literally impossible to for released CFCs to ascend to the ozone layer. Turns out it was over an expired patent. Yes, 100%. 100%. You remember when they had to get rid of the CFCs? Or no, yeah, it was CFCs that was in hairspray. Do you guys remember that from the 80s? They were banning CFCs in hairspray because of the ozone. They were like showing us pictures of what the ozone looks like, and like there's a big hole over the Arctic and it's all going to melt and we're all going to drown, you know. And then none of that happened. And if you do you really think that none of that happened because they banned hairspray? Yeah. That's really what happened. If you're not old enough to know, they really did that stuff. They banned the CFCs that were in hairspray. Anyway, let's get back on point because I'm going to talk about a guy who actually has his trash in one bag. So, Elon Musk on population and the future. Aquanet. Cha. One of the most vocal advocates of increased population growth is Elon Musk, who has repeatedly expressed concerns about declining birth rates in developed countries. Musk warns, quote, if people don't have more children, civilization is going to crumble. Mark my words, end quote. He argues that the societal focus on uh, reducing birth rates, I'm sorry, the societal focus on reduced birth rates, particularly in wealthier nations, poses a significant threat to economy or economic stability and innovation. From Musk's perspective, a shrinking population leads to fewer workers, a smaller tax base, and diminished cultural vitality. Musk's views carry weight not only because of his global influence, but also due to his forward looking vision. As the founder of complex companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink, Musk understands the importance of robust human capital in driving innovation and solving humanity's grand challenges. His concerns about declining population numbers are tied to a broader belief that a dynamic growing population is essential for sustaining progress in technology, space exploration, and economic developments. And to make that section or segment of this live stream very simple to understand, if you don't have children and your children, well, if you don't have children, your children won't have children. You literally just cut that branch, not just of your family tree, but of the global growth. It should be like, you know what I'm saying? It's always getting bigger, but in the middle, it's fading away. That's what should be happening. And when we don't do that, then we have breaks, and all that stuff in the middle of the old people fades away, and then that little section fades away, and then you have less and less people to continue to expand. All right. Hopefully, I've been able to do that visually without a graph. Woo! Jazz hands. And I'm going to show you a graph here in a little while once we get closer to the end of what this actually means. Bradley says, I've been sitting here like 5 minutes behind live. I got you. I just figured you had your earbuds in while you were in a meeting. It's not a big deal, man. I love you. Let's see here. The ozone hole is cyclical, and lightning creates his new ozone. There you go. And so do Xerox copiers. Smell the ozone. If you've ever smelt the ozone from a copier running, put a one in the chat. Not a joke. And you're like, huh? Yeah, that's what that smell is in the copier room. It's ozone. All right, so let's talk about ethical considerations in population policies. Now, managing managing what's that? 29. We got 29 people in here. Matter of fact, I need to go check. Let's go ahead and check the poll. 65%. The question is, why is life necessary for, or is death necessary for life? 65% believe that maintains ecological balance. 20% are prevents overpopulation. 10% is promotes resource availability, and 5% ensures biodiversity and stability. Yeah, people are like, oh my God, I just made you have a memory. Those are my YouTube powers for the day anyway. So, managing population growth through policies inevitably raises ethical questions. This is one of the reasons that we don't like people telling us what to do, the global, population control agenda and all sorts of really, really nefarious stuff. So, a review published in the journal Ethics, Policy, and Environment, it's actually a journal, delves into these complexities, evaluating population policies through major ethical framework. The review highlights tensions between individual freedoms and collective responsibilities, particularly when policies involve coercive measures such as forced sterilization or one-child mandates, which we talked about earlier from China. Uh, Ethically, sound population policies should prioritize voluntary participation, informed consent, and equitable access to resources. They must also respect cultural values and address structural inequalities that contribute to high fertility rates in certain regions. By framing population control measures with a context of justice and equity, policymakers can foster public trust and cooperation. Other than that word equity, that was in that segment. Um, most of all, that makes very good sense. But the big picture behind what I just said is that in some places we need to look ahead and we will need more children. In other places, we don't need so many children because in those places resources are scarce. It's just the way of the world. It's huh. So perfect example of that is people who are illegal aliens who are migrating to the United States because they know we have more resources. They didn't have kids over there in their sloppy countries that don't have any resources or commies or whatever. So they're coming here so they can gobble up our resources. Now, will they make children? I hope so, because we do need more children. But there is a global shift of people trying to come to this country, and what'll happen is that they're going to gobble up all the resources here, and it's going to hurt us. It's not just they're not just taking food off our table, they're taking jobs away from us. They're doing a lot of things that we see in the public domain. But what's really happening behind the scenes, they're using up resources but not contributing. Okay, so that's the real thing. That's the real problem. Gone are the days of the migrant worker who just works his ass off here, sends home to mom all their money, and you know what I'm saying, like the hard, the worker. It's unfortunately, but no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. That would be mean if I was just thinking about there's an old adage about a lazy Mexican worker. I've never seen one before. Today we're seeing them. Okay. Let's see. India, where are we at here? You guys put a bunch of ones in there. We're good to go. But they say we're overpopulated, then we're dying off. Make up your mind what we should do. Rose, I'm going to show you a graph here in a little bit that I'm going to show you where the problem exists. Okay. So be patient with me. Let's see. Uh-huh. I have my tinfoil hat on. I don't have mine I moved a few things around. I don't have mine within reach right now, so I can't play with you on that one. I would normally just like, oh, look at me, and then go right off, but I'm not going to do that. So let's see here. Cindy says India outpaced China in population, and they have nukes too, and many different cultural issues there also. Yes, but they also have a very high death rate, mortality rate. Uh, um, they, I mean, they're if you've ever been to places like that in the world, people die in the streets. Not a joke. They also live still very much the way out away from the cities. They still live very much the way they lived 200 years ago too. What is it? Water bottles full of water pushed into holes in the ceiling for light during the day. Tiny solar panels to run radios so they can listen to things, charge their phones, things like that. They very much live very much like they did 200 years ago. Let's see here. Cindy says unsafe countries, peeps have more kids due to higher death rates. Yeah, well, I mean, they believe in it. That's like I'm going to do my very worst Indian impersonation. Welcome to the local quickie mart. No, so that's as good as it's going to get. But basically, mothers are asking their sons, "Where are my grandchildren?" And we don't do that a lot anymore. We don't do that a lot anymore because mothers knew that you have to perpetuate the family line. You have to make babies. That's why we're here. Okay? To keep this wheel going, guys. If we don't have babies, the wheel stops turning. Oh, let's see here. Cheech and Chong were preppers. I never thought of that. We're gonna have to talk about that offline because I want to know. I want to go down that rabbit hole with you, man. Cheech and Chong were preppers. I want to go down that rabbit hole. I mean, I know they. I watched all the movies. I'm not getting that. So we're gonna have to go down that rabbit hole, man. They drive better vehicles than I do. I've worked for 14 years. I'm 14 years old. I'm 67. I got you, Debbie. Oh, wait, they had solar panels 200 years ago? Yes, they did. They kept them in their trunks. No, you know what I'm talking about, smarty pants. I don't do prepping content because it's been done. Who wants to see another bug out bag? Well, I only do my bug out bag for content once a year, maybe twice a year, seasonal change, that kind of thing, when I've got a new piece of kit. But people really do like those videos. Anyway, let's stay on point, Pilgrim. Let's stay on point. I didn't know you had a channel. What the hell? Why haven't you eaten me? Contact localprepper@gmail.com and I will review your channel and tell you how much I like it. I'm going to hit that subscribe button, which all of you should have done by now. You should have all checked your bells by now. You should have all done the thumbs up thing by now. But yeah, we're getting close to the end here. It looks like I'm actually going to go over, and I haven't even asked you for any money, and I won't do it today because today is not that day. Okay, so some historical context. All right. There's a book that was written in the 60s called The Population Bomb. Okay. And so let's talk about some of the lessons that we can learn from that. So the author's name is Paul R. Elkrich. He wrote the book in 1968. The title is The Population Bomb. And it brought global attention to the potential consequences of unchecked population growth. It included resources depletion and environmental degradation, although some of Elrich's um, or Ehrlich's, that's his name, Ehrlich. It's foreign names really mess me up. Ehrlich's predictions have been criticized for their alarmist tone. The book remains influential in discussions about sustainability and population control. He was one of the first. Elrich argued that overpopulation would lead to widespread famine and ecological collapse unless immediate action was taken to limit growth. While technological advancements have mitigated some of these outcomes, the core message that unchecked population growth possesses or poses significant risks remains relevant today. Now, modern interpretations of Ehrlich's work emphasize the need for proactive measures that address both population and consumption patterns to achieve long term sustainability. Now, once again, he's talking about the balance. Okay. My channel is Pilgrim 420. Gee, I wonder what that's about. You're going to make me go look for it, Pilgrim 420? You know what? You son of a bitch. I'm going to get you right now. I'm gonna get you right now. Where are we at here? YouTube. Open a new window. Pilgrim 420. Youtube. Let me take a look at this before I decide to. Guitar Pilgrim, Realtor, Skill Guide, Cooking, Making Money, Think. I don't immediately see it, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go. Let's just go to YouTube. Who's the Guitar Pilgrim? Who is that guy? Pilgrim 420 and Pilgrim 420 Dirty Dance. See, this is why I don't like to immediately do these kind of things because it takes up time and sometimes it's not what people need to see. So yeah. All right, guys. So here's what you do here. You know what? Here's what you do. Send me an email. We'll talk. All right. So with that said, let's see here. Live streaming, back to the software. I really need a third screen on this, but it's a damn laptop, so I can't do that. So let's talk about something called reframing the population debate. Now, uh, the cons the conversation about population growth is often framed as binary, now meaning only black or white, left or right, one or two, that kind of thing, or zero or one if you're really a techno geek. But and it's often framed as binary, growth versus reduction, that balance, that scale. However, this dichotomy oversimplifies a complex issue. Rather than viewing population growth as inherently good or bad, society should focus on optimizing demographic trends to align with economic, environmental, and cultural goals. For example, many developed nations face the challenge of declining birth rates and aging populations. Frickin' boomers, like the real boomers, not what a 12-year-old calls somebody that's 30. In these contexts, encouraging larger families through policies like tax incentives, paid parental leave, and childcare support can help rejuvenate labor markets, basically pay them to have babies. Make it beneficial to have babies and fun, and sustain economic growth. Conversely, in regions where high fertility rates strain resources, investments in education and healthcare can empower individuals to make informed reproductive choices. Basically, keep them closed, ladies, and we won't have a problem. Now, and no, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that's what mom taught me. Uh, no, or that's what mom taught my sisters. Anyway, strategies for sustainable population planning. Now, the concept of human population planning encompasses a range of strategies aimed at balancing growth with sustainability. Now, these strategies include promoting family planning. mm, that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. We've talked about that already. Improving access to education, particularly for women, and investing in economic development. Historical and contemporary approaches to population planning highlights the importance of addressing the root cause of high fertility rates, such as poverty and lack of access to health care. Yeah, that's an issue. It's an issue. For examples, countries that have implemented a comprehensive family planning programs, such as Thailand and Bangladesh, has successfully reduced fertility rates while improving economic and social outcomes. These successes demonstrate that population planning can be both ethical and effective when grounded in respect for human rights and cultural context. Now, to let's make an additional statement here. Fostering innovation and economic growth in regions with declining populations can help offset the challenges of the aging workforces. Frickin' boomers. Investments in automation, education, and immigration can complement efforts to stabilize population levels while ensuring societal resilience. Basically, get rid of Walmart greeters. All right, so uh, we're going to go to the chat here. I'm going to try and set this up for you. I did not plan on doing this particular graph, but I'm going to try and make it so that it is visible to you. There, we're going to do that, and then we'll minimize this, and we'll minimize that, and we'll bring this over here, and we'll slam that up like that, and then I will push this button. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is what doesn't make any sense. So if we look at this, can I make this bigger? Can I make this? Oh, I can. Look at that. I can make this. Oh, I can draw on it. Control Z. Goodbye. So if we look at this, this is currently our population rate. Okay. What do we see now? Whoa, I can do that. The growth rate, percentage by percentage, and this is the death rate by percentage. As you can see, this number is bigger than this number by little bitty bits. But this is the odd number. This is our current population rate by billions globally. This is what's expected next year, but these numbers don't support that. They should be inverted. They should be backwards, but they're not. And if you can see, by 2045, we're up to 9 billion, almost 10. We're up to 2065. There's a 20-year increments. 2065, I'll probably be gone. This won't be my problem, and you won't get to watch my YouTube videos. Maybe you will. Maybe my YouTube videos will live forever. But now you can see that this number is going up, and it's what basically is happening is we're being nickeled and dimed into being overpopulated. Now, they're talking about this being a significant number by 2045 because at that point, we may be at a flashpoint for overpopulation, like true overpopulation, where we can't create enough resources, food, to support life on the planet. But we won't know that. And so they'll start like rationing food, cutting back, changing what we eat. Maybe you're going to eat some bugs and it will last for a certain period of time. So these numbers are dependent. Can you see my cross? Can you see when I do that? These numbers are all dependent on our ability to survive. Otherwise, these numbers they're going to flip. And now I've just John Madden the hell out of you guys. Woo! Let me know in the comments if you like what you just saw. Okay, let me get my board set back up here. I had to turn some things off just to make that happen for you. There we go. Oh, that's not it. That's what is going on here. That's from yesterday. Why is that even here? That was weird. That was very, very weird. Okay. The chart doesn't account for World War III. Yes, because the chart is based off of population, annual growth, and annual death. You're absolutely right. It doesn't account for World War III. Let's see here. LP the Everlasting. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit there. I try to stay in shape. Let's see here. I want to go to the chat here, but we're over time. Whoa, something just crashed. There we go. All right, I'm back. But we still have a little bit of information to cover, and I want to show you the neat graph that is floating around the internet right now that I pulled right off of um, Elon Musk's post. So the basically that projection that I just made for you, this projection assumes the annual growth and death rates remain constant over 60 years, the global population could rise from 8 billion to 13 billion. Uh, um, by 2085, you know, it's something we need to think about. And, I had a, a conclusion written here, but I don't think it's necessary. So let me tell you this. Um, Incorporating insights, from thought leaders like Elon Musk's, who advocates for population growth as a means of sustaining civilization, broadens the discussion by highlighting the potential consequences of declining birth rates. Musk's warning about the risk of population decline reframes the debate, emphasizing that a thriving population is vital for economic innovation, cultural, cultural vitality, and long-term progress by fostering a deeper understanding of the relationships between mortality, fertility, and societal progress. Societies can navigate the complexities of growth in the way that ensures sustainability and equity for future generations. The discourse around the conversation that we're having now around popular dynamics is not just about numbers. It's about creating a world where all individuals have the opportunity to thrive within the planet's finite limits. Now, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and let me go find it for you real quick here. It's called Peak Child. I'm going to push that. Hopefully this works. There we are. So this is this actually got reposted by this is called the rabbit hole. Let me flip this screen right here. This is called the rabbit hole. And you guys can follow them if you want to. That's on you. But this is all about something called the world has passed peak child with the numbers of children no longer projected to grow. So if we go to this graph, guys, it's pretty straightforward. So you can see right here where we literally were growing, 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 like, and we're just gonna. So this is young people under 25 years. This is young people under 15 years, and this is children under 5 years old. And right now we're like right here. Can I draw? I can't draw on that. Damn it. I should have done that. That's what I should have done. Hold on a second here. Let me turn my drawing stuff on and we'll switch this graph, make it look. We'll make it useful for you guys. All right, let's do that. And then we'll minimize that. And then we'll throw this over here. And now I can draw on this. So like so like 20, so that'd be 20, 30. We're like right here. Sorry, I couldn't draw a super straight line for you guys. So you can see where the graph for these numbers as far as young people under 25 years of age, they're going down because this number is going down. All right. This number is going down because this number is going down. Everything is interconnected. So basically, no kids means no population. It directly correlates and we've passed that. The 2100 based on the UN medium scenario, and medium scenario means that when they write scenario plans, they have the high probability, the medium probability, and the low probability. So this is right in the middle of that, guys. So we need to be aware of it. So the bottom line is make babies. Make babies. We need them. It's like the argument of overpopulation does not hold true because here's what's going to happen. The boomers are actually going to they'll finally start to die off. And obviously, I don't wish death on anybody. Don't get me wrong, but there is that thing called the great circle of life. And if we can make things last longer and still live within our means of available resources or create resources elsewhere or go to Mars, interplanetary life forms. Yes, we will become that. Our grandchildren will go to space. If we can pull that off, then just imagine, what can happen, you know. It's I think it's important that we keep that in mind when we talk about different things. That's not the button I wanted to push. I wanted to push this button so I can see the chat. All right, so we're over our time, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and roll to the chat. Figures lies and liars figure. Former statistics professor. Yes, numbers can be made to do anything. They truly can. It's all about the source. It's all about the source. Let's see here. Why do you feel the need to force us to go to the doctors once Medicare? Why do they feel? Let's say I wasn't trying to do anything. Why do they feel the need for us to go to the doctors once Medicare? They always want us to do a wellness visit besides yearly, every 6 months visit. I went to the doctors the one that I can imagine in 20 years in the Marine Corps, I had to go to see the Navy doctors or corpsmen, or a corpsman, probably 5 times. I can remember three, but maybe 5 times in 20 years. There's no reason to go to the doctor if you're not sick. If they want you to go, that's great. If they make an appointment for you, call and cancel it. If you feel you don't need to go to the doctor, they don't get too guys. Medicine is a racket now. Okay. They want to keep you in their pipeline so they can keep billing you. It's that easy. All right. So if you're not sick, don't go. If you don't want to check up, don't do it. That's really up to you. Okay. But I probably say it's probably not a bad idea to pay, if you're on Medicare, then, you know, I don't even know what the copay is. Like, what is it, like $30 or something like that for a visit? Go get an annual checkup. What's it gonna hurt? But more than that, a year. If you're feeling fine, there's no reason to go. Let's see here. Where are we at here? The numbers could really dip down from the Rapture and Armageddon. Yeah, I mean, they could. I would think that the numbers would go down drastically. Let's see here. Rip Madden. There you go. I didn't even think about that until after I was like at the end. I was like, did I just Madden these guys? Let's see here. Always consider the source. Yes, yes. And I mean, I do listen to a lot of Elon. No, he is not I'm not part of his cult. But the guy got there somehow, and he didn't get there on anybody else's back. That is for sure. Um, let's see. He lets me plug my channel as payment. No, I don't. I just do it because I like helping people. Let's see here. Mal Malthus was wrong. Intellectually lazy. Ah, well, I haven't seen you in a while, bro. It's about time you piped up. I don't know what that means. I speak and believe the truth. Let's see here. Martha's, Darwin, lots of these theories, not proof if truth. Yeah, well, that's just it. It's like the conspiracy theories that they're all coming true now. We should be cautious. We should be cautiously vigilant. Um, we should definitely check our sources. And I would hope that you would believe that I would not bring you an irrelevant source because I would consider that to be a waste of my time and yours. Let's see here. 185 premium annual wellness check, free 80/20 copays, 250 deductible for Medicare and less in supplement, etc. $185 premium. That's I don't like any of that. You need to go someplace else. Let's see here. My grandparents lived to be 112 years old. It's those bastards screwing everything up for us. Let's see here. I have a second channel, but it was because YouTube kept putting me in timeout. You were in YouTube jail? That's awesome. I spent I went through during the great meme war of 2018. I went through six Facebook accounts. It was a daily battle to crush liberals. Let's see here. Wellness check. Are you suicidal? Have you fallen down? Do you feel safe? I know, right? The questions that they ask are a little ridiculous. All right, guys. So, as usual, you guys asked for it. You got it, Toyota. And if you're old enough to know that, you know how old you are. Anyway, I think that's going to be about it for guys. As usual, do me a favor. Uh, hit the thumbs up on the way out the door if you have not done that yet. Make sure that you are subscribed and your bell is clicked. You got the little thing ching, on the outside of the bell. YouTube has been turning them off. It hasn't been that bad later. You know, um, it is what it is. It is what it is. And if you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is to become a member of the YouTube membership. Not a joke. Pick the one in the middle. There's a link someplace to do that. Yeah, that's going to be about it for today's. Stay safe. I don't even know what my subject is for tomorrow yet, but I'm going to figure it out like right now. So you guys stay safe. Have a great Thursday, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye bye.